Hello again, precious friends. I'd meant to just pause the video, but some sort of alert popped into my phone and stopped the video, so we'll probably end up posting this as 2 videos again because I really suck at editing, and I really don't have a really good editing program, and I'm waiting for my niece, who's much more experienced and much less intimidated by technology, to find me a editing program or editing software and show me how to use it. So we'll just post this as 2 separate videos, but that's okay. It worked out with the chaffles, so we're gonna just go with that. So we're here, we're ready to depan our carnivore bread. It's been cooling. It's not completely cold, but you can see it's cool enough for me to handle the pan. And we're going to move this stuff out of the way, our little makeshift cooling rack. You can see how it's still all nice and puffy. It hasn't sunk down any. It's nice and lofty, which is good. And I'm going to get my plastic knifey, which I always use on my non-stick baking ware because I don't like to scratch it. So we're going to run the knife gently down the side, around the corner. I want to try and do this in a way where my hand doesn't get in the way. Whoops. Okay, so we've run our knife all the way around. Get our rack back out. And we're going to depan this. Put the rack on top of the pan, flip the whole bunch over, and ta-da! Look, even the parchment stayed in the bottom of the pan. And here we have, now, looks like a cake, I realize, and I call it bread. This is like going to be little square slices of bread. We're going to split them in half. The reason I do it this way and not in a loaf pan, you can do this bread in a loaf pan, but I have found that I have a lot of trouble with egg white bread with the loaves collapsing. The bottom and sides of the loaves just kind of shrink in as the bread cools. I have found that I have a lot less problem when making the bread this way with a collapsing loaf. So let me get my slicer. Get out your good old serrated knife. And how I like to do this is actually cut it in half this way, because I find this is a way it makes very nice sandwich size slices. Look how fluffy that is. Fluffy and airy. Now, this makes about 6 sandwiches, regular sandwich size. You can cut it smaller. You can cut it in 8ths if you want smaller pieces of bread, but I like 6. So this makes 6 sandwiches or 12 pieces of bread, which is half a loaf, about. So I just eyeball it. You can measure it if you want to. It's 9 by 13, so these are about 4.5 to a side squares. Okay, here we go. Now, to make a sandwich, I don't do this. That would be too much bread. So what I do is I split these, and it's really not as hard as it seems to split them. You start with your knife right in the middle there, you can see. Just lay it down, eyeball it right in the middle, and cut a slit. Get the knife just about down into the bread, just like that, and then rotate the bread, and then eyeball it. Make sure you keep the knife poking out this side, and saw down halfway till you get to the corner, and then rotate it. Make sure you keep the top end of the knife in the slit, and then rotate. You can see how the end of the knife is staying inside the slit. Then rotate again. Then rotate again. And as long as you're eyeballing down through the center, there you go. You will cut all the way around, and there you have it. Look at that. It's soft. It doesn't have that real tough, like some people call it memory foam, because of the egg yolks and the extra butter and the cream cheese. It just creates a really nice texture and a really nice mouthfeel. So it also smells very much like regular bread because of the yeast. And as I said, the allulose and the yeast mixture helps to not make it just taste like meringue or eggs, which it very easily can. Now, if that's okay with you, if you don't mind doing that, that's fine. But I like my bread, I like this to taste a little bit more like bread. I find it much more pleasant. So, let's have a taste. Got my butter right here, my room temperature butter. My slice of bread. Whoops. I don't have any lunch meat right now. Otherwise, I would put a little bit of mustard and ham on this. This is wonderful. But just having a slice of bread and butter. What a simple, wonderful little pleasure. Yummy. It doesn't have exactly the texture of wheat bread, but you know, that's okay. It's still delicious, and you can use it for all sorts of things. As I said, French toast. You can cube it up and actually make dressing out of it for a turkey dinner. But I mostly just like to eat it. So I'm going to enjoy the rest of my slice of bread and butter. And I'm going to see you really, really, really soon with some more fun recipes. Thanks for joining Aunt Patty, the Carnivore Hippie. I wish you peace, love, and meat. Whoops! And carnivore bread and butter. And I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.